And here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blue Marble. We've already got a few people hanging around. 15 or so out in the chat. Repo Sandman Rodent, no last name. Christian Gunnelis. Is that right, I hope? Anyway, best I could do. Fred Bailey, Patio Furniture, Dart. Marcus Dresden, Judy Bassett is out there in the chat. She's also in here in the Discord, along with Alan Evans, Peyton Assashill, and Rob Barton. So there we go.
Yicky and yucky.
So now we got them online too. Everybody's talking on YouTube now. Hey guys.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not even sure. We might have already had summer this year. We had a really good week and a half in late March.
You guys are live.
Okay.
Hello, Charlie Welch. H. Hampton. Yeah, we're all live. I need to turn these speakers off because everybody's going to be telling me I've got echoes. There we go. That should take care of that problem, if it was a problem. So what's everybody up to?
We're just talking about the weather in England and Finland today. Apparently it's overcast.
Well, it's England and Finland. That's usually the way it is, I think.
Well, especially in England. It's overcast and rainy there a lot.
It doesn't always rain.
No.
It was sunny on Sunday afternoon when I got invited to a friend's barbecue. Sat on the deck by the river, and got sunburn on the top of my head.
Really?
Well, it was still cool enough. You needed to put a jumper on. Didn't even think about getting sunburn.
Hello, Lil. What's going on?
The Earth is still round, apparently.
Yeah, it's my assessment.
I mean, it's apparent that it's round, but it's not really round.
Yeah, it just appears to be round because we see it round there, but it's not really round. I got it. I love that argument. It only appears to be round.
Well,
actually, it doesn't even. If I walk outside, it doesn't even appear that because I can't see large enough. Little, 4 miles that I see compared to the circumference of the Earth is nothing.
Well, you're supposed to concentrate on that, not on anything else.
That is a fact. The Earth is a big thing.
I'm just glad.
And a small thing at the same time.
Compared to some really big things, yes.
Like the mass of NASA's head, right? So it's small compared to the mass of NASA's head, right?
Oh, no. No, not at all.
Maybe we're just really, really tiny things on a pretty small thing after all.
Well, I'm just glad that we don't feel the Earth moving under our feet. Could you imagine how to have vertigo all the time and be dizzy as you feel the Earth spin under you? Maybe we evolved to ignore that or something, so we wouldn't be dizzy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a real nuisance, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you could actually feel it.
Every time you wake up, you lean, toward the east, everything.
Yeah. We wouldn't want that. Hello, Rob Barton. You got audio working today? Or maybe not. That's okay. You don't have to talk. You're more than welcome to, though, if you want to. Zebulon 181 is out there. Auditing the Absurd is out there. I think I said hi to Charlie Welch.
Righty. Welcome.
Huh?
Was that flat Ranty or round Ranty?
Round Randy.
Maybe blue. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Hey, say hello to Unirock out there.
Like I said, hi to Charlie Welch.
Righty.
Let's see. Somebody's got their YouTube running.
Is that flat Ranty or round Ranty?
Round Randy.
Maybe blue.
Yeah?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, Rob, you mute your YouTube channel, Rob.
Say hello to Unirock out there.
Rob, he's listening on YouTube. Rob, you need to listen. Here, I'm going to mute him temporarily.
Running.
Yeah, mine's still not right.
There you go, Rob. Yeah, just mute your YouTube channel and listen in here in Discord. Because if you don't, we're just going to get feedback out there. And hello to the one and only out there. Who am I talking to? Hell, I don't know who I'm talking to. Half the time I'm talking to myself.
As long as you don't argue with yourself.
Hey, it's always a good argument. You got to admit that.
Yeah, sometimes I lose though.
I know the feeling. So anything great happening in the world of flat earth these days? I take the silence as a resounding no.
Well, actually, turns out my grandson managed to find himself a flat Earth video on YouTube to watch, which is not bad going considering he's only 2 years old.
Oh goodness!
But guess what his answer? Guess what he said to his mum when his mum was telling me about this? Guess what he said to his mum when she said, "Is Earth flat?" He looked at her and went, "No." So flirts are obviously stupider than a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, I've often told these guys when they ask what is down to go ask a 2-year-old. Maybe you could loan your grandson out for these guys to identify which direction is down.
Yeah. No. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh so hard, but
That's pretty funny.
yeah, it was so brilliant. And he then proceeded to jump off the end of the bed in the spare bedroom into the wall pool. And his sister tried to follow suit and managed to miss, which wasn't so clever. Yeah, because yes, they know which way is down.
Yeah.
I'm real sure he's got down figured out by now. That would be one of the first things we learn, wouldn't it?
Would be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember last summer when we was when it, no, the summer before last, because it was when you were first starting to build
Cavendish.
the Cavendish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he loved watching you chopping out the wood with the chisel. But he was definitely discovering down, because that was at the point where he was sitting on my lap and pushing everything off the desk.
Right. Yeah.
You could read. So, you know, lots of cheap old mice for him to play with.
Yeah, it's funny how 2-year-olds can grasp that concept, and then they get to be 35 years old, and all of a sudden they're dumber than hell. Can't figure out what down is anymore. How does that happen? Beats me. And then they start saying really silly things like level is horizontal. Oh, goodness. Hey, we had some fun last weekend. Went down and moved, went down to the University of Tennessee and moved Cavendish into some temporary storage while they remodeled that lab over the summer months.
How big is it disassembled? About the size of a desk or something? Just stacked up? It's about the size of a small desk when you stack it up, or?
Yeah, it could be stacked up to a pile, something about like that.
Yeah.
6
So you
feet.
get the legs and the bottom and the
Oh, there's a bunch of pieces to it. You got the table, you got the cabinet, the case, the actual Cavendish case, and then you've got 4 legs, 1, 2, 8 cross pieces, a couple of side rails, a couple of stops, top rail, and rotating part. There's lots of pieces, but.
Right, but I mean the big major pieces, the legs, the cross braces and stuff. Stack everything about 4 foot high and 8 foot long. Yeah,
a couple of the flat earthers laughed and said, what a dumbass you are. Great planning. You take the thing down there, and now you got to take it apart and move it, and then you'll have to go put it back together. And good Lord.
When they get money to remodel the physics lab, that's what happened.
Well, they had the money, and here's the problem, here's the thing we ran into, and this was all documented way back last year. They had scheduled the refurbishment, the remodeling of that lab last year, and so we were going to wait until the lab was done, so that we didn't have to do all this. But then they got the schedule got delayed, and they said, okay, well, we're not going to get around to it this year. We'll have to do it next year. And part of it had to do with the way funding works.
Right, and it's a school, so you just have to do it during the summer.
Yeah, it's got to be in the right fiscal year, and it's got to be during a time when the students are not there. So I was faced with the following choice. I could either keep it here for 9 months to avoid, 3 or 4 hours worth of work, or go ahead and take it down there and just go through this, take it apart and put it back together. Needless to say, I wanted the space in the garage more than I wanted to wait 9 damn months to avoid a little bit of extra work. So that's the reason for the whole thing. It was not... it's not like it wasn't thought about. It was very well thought about. We knew what was going to happen. But in fact, I made a little video. Some of you guys may have seen it. And others maybe not so much. Let me see if I can... share the screen inside.
They just speaking of your machine, they just detected a Mars quake.
Huh? A Mars quake, really? Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know Mars was geologically active.
It's not super active.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna go on mute. You guys ought to be seeing my screen here in Discord. And
Why is it you walking in? You know that you cut the camera when you were in the elevator, you know.
I know.
I will say there was one other advantage to you taking it when you did. It meant the students this last semester got a chance to have a go with it as well.
I
Yeah,
have a somewhat. What is that sculpture over the door?
I do not know. I have no idea what that is.
I'm gonna have to look it up then.
And now I can't find my screen on OBS.
With
For
the
the
University
source-
of Tennessee, right?
For the scenes. What's wrong? I've got something messed up here. You guys go ahead and chat and let me see if I can figure out what I've done. I don't know what I've done. This is not good.
So this sculpture suggests the relationship between mass, energy, and radiation.
I've got my OBS all messed up now.
Do you need to power down and restart?
I do not know what I need to do. I would like it very much if somebody could tell me what I need to do.
Do you not see the scene for?
No, I don't have that screen. I don't know what's going on. I can't turn on my other screen over here. Having technical difficulties, folks, in case you haven't figured that out.
Up and just call it operator headspace.
I think the keyboard interface device.
Yeah, I believe that's the real problem. I should have a panel here that will give me oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, give me a minute. I might be back in business. It was hiding. How did that happen?
Friday.
So now if I can figure out which one I need to enable, not that one. It would be that one. Okay. We might be onto something here. Tell you what, let me see if you guys are getting some audio here. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Blue Marble Science.
Echo.
Got an echo?
Yeah.
On Saturday, May the 7th, 2022, a couple of friends of mine and I went down to the University of Tennessee.
I suspect they might have. You didn't by any chance put the audio from the video out to your speakers, did you, Blue?
To dismantle Cavendish. Buzz all this out so we don't give anybody directions. 2022, a couple of friends of mine and I went down to the University of Tennessee to dismantle Cavendish and move it to a temporary storage location while the lab that it's in is being remodeled over the summer. Now, some of the flat earthers have tried to say that Cavendish wasn't even at the University of Tennessee. Watch the very brief video that follows, and I think that's going to remove all doubt. So hopefully that's recording. We'll see if it is or not. That would be the Nielsen Physics Building. You can recognize it by that thing on the front. Let's go walk in.
Okay. My sources tell me this is... I'm good, buddy. Oh, wait, need help. Need help. Do we need to wear a mask?
go.
There's Hall. Linear algebra and differential equations in the dead of summer with no air conditioning. Do they have air conditioning in that building yet?
I think so. They renovated it.
No. I'm gonna get with the times.
I'll be sure to fuzz all this out so we don't give anybody directions.
We're used to it.
There's a tree. Follow.
What's it say?
Physics Honors Day Ceremony.
Oh, cool.
Undergraduate, graduate awards for outstanding academic achievement. Research leadership status. You should get an honorary one of those.
Oh, wow. It's emptied out since we were here last.
Yeah, emptied up a bunch yesterday and
That's awesome.
So there's Cavendish.
It exists.
Right here where I said it was.
it works great.
We weren't kidding, were we? And now I'll just show you a few still shots while Cavendish was being disassembled. It's all tucked away safe and sound for the summer. And when they finish the lab remodel, we'll go back down, put it back together, and it will be ready to teach the students in the fall semester of 2022. So hey, thanks for watching. And there you go. Hope you guys could hear it okay over here in Discord.
Yeah.
If it had an echo, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's not worth looking for. It's only a 3.5 minute video. But I think the YouTube crowd got the audio out there okay, or they should have. So that was what I did Saturday.
Hey, but at least we still made you have some Lindsay on Terry's stream before you went.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and I will not forget that either. I will not forget that. Hello to IB Hunter and J Mac. Gigi
Good
Little.
afternoon.
Yeah, what's going on?
Slow at work.
Slow day, huh? Well, we've been, it's been a slow couple of days for me. Really have done very little of anything. I got to get out in the shop and start cleaning up some mess. Time to make something.
What's your next project?
Hell, I don't know.
What's up, Blue?
I'm trying to get him to do Michelson Morley, but he's not listening to me.
Hey, Blue, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, B-Ball?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
So,
man.
what's going on? So, did Rakia actually deny that the Cavendish was at the university?
You know how rakia is. Rakia is like pushing down on a watermelon seed. If you push on it a little bit, it just squirts over to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
So rakia will maintain plausible deniability, I suppose. And I'm sure what he'll
Right.
say is, I never said that. But he time and time again said things like, if it is at the University of Tennessee, and he said things like, I've called down there, multiple times and nobody knows anything about it. He was intentionally trying to leave the impression that it really wasn't there. Now he can do whatever he wants. Like, I don't really care. What Rocky can do is kiss my ass.
I ran free space in his head, so.
Yeah, apparently I do too. I get these machine gun DMs from him. Something will stir him up, and all of a sudden I'll get 10 in a damn row. It's amazing.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was speaking with somebody.
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't, because someone was talking to me. There was an LT that came up, and I had to stop, salute, and then address the LT.
Well, one must address LTs for sure.
Yeah, I kind of caught some of what you were saying. He kind of he says he'll say something, and then of course he claims that he didn't say that. I was just kind of chatting with him earlier. Well, not chatting, but in text. Of course, he said that he never doubted that it was there.
Yeah,
that's what he claims.
That's his story now. Of course, at the time, what he was saying is things like, if it's even at the University of Tennessee, he would tack that on the end of a sentence. Now, tell me you're not questioning it.
Right.
Or he would say, I've called University of Tennessee several times and nobody knows anything about it. Nobody's ever heard of it. Again, implying that it's not there.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I really don't care what he thinks. When it gets right down to it.
Yeah.
But I thought, hell, since I was going to be down there anyway, I'd just have a little bit of fun. Now, next time, I'll actually turn the camera the right damn direction. I didn't mean to film it in flurf mode. I just forgot what I was doing.
Oh, yeah, portrait mode, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I thought about that exact thing the night before, and I thought, yeah, I got to remember to turn that camera sideways. I got down there and totally forgot it.
Portrait mode actually, it only works for like computer screens. If you're looking at documents all the time on computers.
Yeah.
You can swivel your computer screen portrait wise if you're always looking at documents. I actually had one of my screens like that at work.
Yeah, this guy at work that does nothing but code, so he's got one of them in the other mode. It just looks wrong to walk up to the computer and see it sideways.
No, but it makes sense if you're looking at documents all the time,
He's looking at code all day, so it's the same thing.
Yeah. But for filming shit, like we don't watch TV in portrait mode. I always have to tell my wife that too when she wants to film our kids. I'm like, babe, just turn the camera the other way, please.
Yeah, well, I shall endeavor to do better next time.
Hey, I mean, we still, the outcome is still the same.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is where you said it where you said it was.
Yep.
So.
Oh, don't give him. Someone giving Rocky a really bad idea to say that you have to do Cavendish underwater.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking maybe a lot of people, if anybody wants to do it, try and do the pendulum, since we're all at different latitudes, and see if it corresponds to our latitude. I know that would kind of be a stretch because you have to have a pretty long string.
Not necessarily, just it helps.
I do have a spot where I could do it, where I can get a pretty long string. I have a warehouse where I can use.
Does it? I suppose it helps if you can give it a fair amount of amplitude.
Well, it's not so much the amplitude as it is the period.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I could probably get to hang one up in the church tower in our medieval church, but it's a tiny medieval church, so the diameter of the tower isn't huge. But it is at least a rounder tower.
Yeah. I wish I
I
had
have a
place
warehouse where, like, I have there's like a 30 or 40 foot, like one of those cranes that lift up engines.
Yeah.
I could throw a rope over that and then attach some kind of weight to it and then film it over time and see how. But I'm trying to think, like, what should I, how the gentleman physicist did it with the paint?
Yeah. That was a good idea.
I think how I would, maybe try something like that.
Yeah, that was a really good idea, the way he trailed that little string or whatever he had through the
it was like
paint.
a little paintbrush on, string or a little paintbrush on the bottom.
Just a little string, I think, is all it was.
The most amazing one I have, let's see if I can find the video. This guy figured out the way this particular pendulum was boosted from the bottom. He timed it so that it filmed it at the end of each period, at the end of each stroke, if you will.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and then he time lapsed it, so it looks like the ball is just floating as it goes around. Let me see if I can find that one.
Oh, you could certainly do that if you get your once you get the period figured out. Because that's the deal with a pendulum. If you don't get crazy amplitudes to begin with, if you start with a fairly shallow angle, the period doesn't change, regardless of the fact that it's slowing down. The amplitude is decreasing each time. The period of oscillation is the same.
What about for, like, the weight that you hang at the end? Do you think like the shape of the weight would impart like some sort of current, like wind current, to blow it in a specific direction?
Well,
that's why you make them symmetrical.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, it needs to be symmetrical. They can be
like a
pretty
ball.
much any shape you want to make them, but hell, if I was going to do it, I'd just get another lead cannonball weight like I used on Cavendish.
So like a kettlebell with a handle on it probably wouldn't be good, because it has, the handle kind of has a different shape.
Yeah.
Might impart like some sort of wind current.
Yeah, you might get some funny things happening.
Okay.
Hey, I got like 5 minutes, but I got a great idea. Hi, Blue. Thank you for doing the live stream early today.
Hey, what's going on, Jose?
What's up? I got a few recommendations for Cavendish. All right, bear with me. The torsion bars will be rubber bands.
Okay.
Start taking notes, guys. All right.
Okay, got
it. We need cabbages, but the cabbages will be filled with eggs inside. So you hollow the cabbages, fill it with eggs. Those are the weights. All right, noted. Now we need a big fish tank that you fill the whole. Sorry, go ahead.
Do the eggs need to be cooked or hard boiled, or what do we do?
Hard-boiled eggs inside the cabbages.
Okay.
So we can't use over easy eggs?
You're just hard-boiled.
Okay.
Now, we need a big fish tank that we need to put the Cavendish in, put that inside a vacuum, fill the tank with water, put the vacuum inside the water, underwater, Get tiny cameras, record that with small cameras, and then two people recording, one from the west, one from the east, and then they'll be recording you as you record with the small camera, and then one people from far away recording orthographic view of the everything of this whole setup. Thank you very much.
So it'd be like measuring Coriolis, right? Measuring gravity. What else?
I think the
Don't
one thing
forget
I
mushing and squishing.
yeah, the one thing I think you overlooked, Jose, is we need to do it on the vomit comment at the same time.
At the vomit comment.
Oh,
yeah,
I
there
love
you
the
go.
movie comment, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then we'll get, when editing the video, we'll get Brian's Logic editing, because we need everything with oil hoid in soy oils.
And then,
Sorry, I had to say that. No, there's a park reunion. There's the first reunion, like neighbors reunion, and I don't know what's it. I saw the announcement and I said, "Hey, there's a reunion at 4, and there will be ice cream." So I'm just going for the ice cream. It's got the first reunion I'm gonna go. So I'll catch you later, guys.
Okay, Jose. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Hopefully my mic is working. Seems to be.
It is.
Ah, good.
Here's one I was talking about by Curtis. Was his name Bout, where he time lapses it and it's just kind of the pendulum floats along. And it's really bizarre looking, but it shows it.
Oh, by the way, Jinzu says, I'm not collecting the cassowary eggs.
Guess where? Some big.
Okay, let's see. Let me move that over to the other screen. And figure out how to get back to all this good stuff. Let's see. I'll share that screen with you guys. Yeah, that would be that one. And let's see, what else do we need to do? I don't think we don't think we need the audio, do you?
No, not really.
All right, so let's watch this thing and see what happens. Yeah, there's a nice big round weight. I'm sure he's saying interesting things. Let's see if he is.
So that you only see the pendulum when it's at this point in its swing here. And doing that will compress the next 32 hours into 4 minutes of video. We're going to try science. Played back at this speed, the pendulum appears to move around the room. But that doesn't really grasp what's really happening, because the ground is what's moving. It's rotating. You are watching the world turn. Let me explain. The pendulum ticks back and forth due to the law of inertia, which states that an object in motion stays in motion, unless something acts on it. So the pendulum continues to swing along this plane of motion, and from its point of view, it's just swinging back and forth along that same plane. From the pendulum's point of view, the ground is what's moving. Now, while that's incredible if you ask me, it can also be hard to grasp. So I want you to picture this. A Foucault pendulum placed at the North Pole would appear to complete a clockwise circle once every 24 hours, as the Earth completes a day by rotating beneath it. But that isn't always the case, because at the poles, the relative rotation between a pendulum and the Earth's axis is at its maximum. So the closer you move a pendulum towards the equator, the longer it takes for a so-called pendulum day to take place. That's the amount of time it takes for a Foucault pendulum to move around the room, as it were. Here at the University of Puget Sound, a pendulum day is about 32.3 hours long. Now the reason it isn't 24 hours here is because the Earth is a sphere. So, the closer you put a pendulum to the equator, the further it is from the Earth's axis. And the greater the difference in angle between the Earth's axis and the plane that the pendulum is on. The greater that difference is, the less relative rotation there is between the pendulum and the Earth. So it takes at least 24 hours to see one pendulum day, and potentially much longer. You can actually figure out your latitude just by watching and timing a pendulum as it moves in this way, but of course there's easier ways to do that. It's now 5:30 in the morning, but I'm awake and ready to get back at it. At the equator, a pendulum day lasts forever. And that's because at that location, a pendulum is perpendicular to the axis of rotation. The planet and the pendulum's plane are not moving in relation to one another. Here in the northern hemisphere, Foucault pendulums rotate clockwise because of the Earth's rotation. And that rotation also causes sundial shadows to move clockwise. I mean, it's probably where we got the term clockwise in the first place. If we put a pendulum at the South Pole, it goes counterclockwise, but again, it takes 24 hours. We talk about the sun rising and setting, but that only appears to happen because of Earth's rotation. And up until this experiment was done, we could only assume that the Earth was spinning due to our observations of the sun, of the moon, and of the stars. But no one had figured out how to do an experiment to actually test that until 1851, when a physicist named Leon Foucault came up with this. And that provided the very first simple proof that the Earth rotates. He did all of that using nothing but a pendulum. And if you ask me, that is pretty remarkable. And that is a pendulum day. Now, it's worth...
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Anyway, that's my favorite Foucault pendulum video.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Thanks for...
I'll go on to explain that the pendulum was a little bit off. It only took 28 hours, so I should have taken 33, but that just means that they started it incorrectly.
Yeah, very possibly. These things are not timepieces.
Well, they can be, but you have to be precise about starting it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And to tell you the truth, they're really not meant to be timepieces. The grand clocks are much better timepieces, use a similar principle. But you have a lot more gearing in there.
Yeah, just count how many times it swings. That's a lot better way to keep time, not how long it takes it to rotate. Yeah, I keep thinking about doing this, and I would love to do one. But finding a suitable site has been the issue.
I don't know yet. How tall is the tallest building in Knoxville? Do they have an unused staircase?
There are plenty of tall buildings, but I don't know if any. I'm going to have to do some looking.
Because, you just need, a stairwell with even an opening. If you don't want to do a complete day, you could do a 15, 20 minutes before it ran into the staircase, I imagine.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. You don't need to do a full day.
Yeah, you start off at maximum swing, and
yeah, we're not going to have any kind of motor assist on it anyway. So it's probably not going to run more than a half hour or so before it decays to the point that you're not going to be trusting what it's doing anymore. My thought is, I don't know, I might be able to find a place down there at UT in the football stadium that's secluded enough, and just do it on a day when there's not any wind. Pick a nice day. I know I can get some decent height in that place. I don't know. I'll look into it.
You need to pay a lot of attention too to the pivot. The pivot is critical as well. We hung one from a hanger at work. It's before my time at the uni, and they had to put a lot of detail into the pivot because it stresses the wire, and the wire can snap. They actually had one that snapped.
Yeah, it needs to be able to. You don't want to be bending the wire back and forth at that point up there. It needs.
Yeah, it's a high stress point of the wire, and you want a nice thin wire as well. But it's got to obviously be strong enough to support the mass and have it swinging backwards and forwards.
Yeah, it needs. My inclination would be to use a stainless steel wire or something like that, fairly high strength.
Yes, I think we used a braided wire from memory. I can make some inquiries with the guys that were involved, and it was before my time. We used to have a science fair that we used to go to and swing this. It was in an old, like a barracks, maybe, I think it was about 15 meters high. It was quite high. And they used to swing this this pendulum from the ceiling.
Yeah, that
it's
would
really
be
interesting. It's really interesting that rotational axis also affects ring lasers attached to the Earth. The same thing happens if you move a ring laser on the Earth to the equator. It won't work because it's parallel to the rotation axis of the Earth.
Yeah, that's right.
Foucault invented the gyroscope after he invented the pendulum because it was taking too long for people to. He figured it'd be easier to understand if you had just a gyroscope.
Yeah, that's much harder to build. Or a gyroscope that's frictionless enough in its bearings.
Right, you could back in the day you could only get, I think, 20 minutes of rotation before it slowed down too much.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think this would be a fun thing to do. I would have fun with it. Irish Steve says,
reduce the friction. It should swing for quite a long time.
Yeah, it will. If you have enough mass there.
Yeah.
50 pounds.
You need a spare one of your Cavendish large levels. That'd be perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, take one of those 50-pound lead balls. That would be ideal. Because
maybe you should do it while Cavendish is in bits, so you can borrow one of the lead balls from it.
Yeah, I know. I happen to know where 2 lead balls are sitting right now. They've got little.
You only need one.
They got little brass eyes on top of them, so it's easy enough to make an attachment there with just a clevis. No problem at all. Yeah, we may try to do something like that. I'll definitely do it if I find the right place to do it. That's been the confusion.
Wasn't your pal Sleepy the guy that confused Leon Foucault with Michael Foucault?
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I think it's one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah, the Sleeping Warrior really made a mess out of that, didn't he?
Well, old Sleepy is really, really dumb.
I'm beginning to think you're right.
Look, I called him a wanker one day, and he didn't get it, and I had to explain it to him, and he still didn't get it.
Oh my goodness, Sleepy. keep hoping one day maybe he'll drop in for a chat.
Well, that could be interesting.
Really? Very interesting. I'll be happy to talk to him. Him or any of them. But I'm like that, you know. They don't bother me.
Now that would be good. Gin's Yu's suggestion of call NASA and see if you can use the VAB.
I think it's busy.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's spoken for, but you never know.
That would be interesting. Yeah, they did one in Russia, suspended from one of the old cathedrals. Yeah, the VAB. Something tells me it's busy.
You're going to need a longer wire.
Yeah. I've seen the VAB from the outside when I visited Florida, and it is one hell of a building.
It's fake. It's absolutely enormous. I've seen it too.
It's fake, you know. Sorry. CGI.
Quote, the air quote's good.
Yeah, right. No, that stuff really is not CGI, believe me. I've been there. Watched them launch really big old rockets. And they work just fine. I guess it's because the atmosphere that they can push off of is really dense right there next to the ocean.
I've told more and more. That one really pisses me off. Because if you look at the rocket equations, rockets actually work better in space than they do on the ground. The air is a negative effect.
Yeah.
Friction is one of those mysterious things to a lot of the flips. I think they don't seem to get.
It's not necessarily
they don't get.
The atmospheric friction is one issue, but actually the pressure on the back actually reduces the reaction force.
That's right.
Yeah, the atmosphere itself just going through the thing is also an issue. That's why they're long and pointy.
Yeah, wind resistance is a big deal, but the engine's more efficient with no pressure on the outside. That's the main thing.
You know what the answer to that is, don't you?
What?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Let's see what we got going on out here in the chat. A squirrel says, I've heard the correct pronunciation is weeping warbler. Could be. John Smith calls him sleepy. Oh, Riley. My goodness. Don't hear very much out of him.
I don't know. Maybe he's had I don't know.
Does he go on Oakley's channel?
I don't listen to Oakley's channel. I'm sorry.
I don't go there.
I can take about 3 minutes of it. Then I just my head implodes.
Well, it's the same crap every day. Over and over again. Now Nathan's begging for a new video card or something.
Why is he begging for speakers or something?
Yeah, it was the speakers, and now his video card's not good enough for something or the other. I saw Wolfie sent him like 10 Australian
like
dollars.
$10?
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, that was hilarious.
How much you send him?
$10.
Mostly so he could write a nice love note. I got it around here someplace.
Wait, what is he asking for? A new graphics card or something? Is
Yeah.
that exactly what it is, or is it a whole computer? Or yeah.
No, it's a graphics card, I think.
Oh, I mean, what is he trying to do with it?
I don't
Stream
know.
in 4K or something? Like,
Who knows?
He probably doesn't know himself.
He does occasionally put a video together that's that isn't, live. I know, for instance, with depending on the editor that you're using, I use DaVinci, and that thing absolutely will not run without a graphics card. You can't run DaVinci without one.
yeah, but I don't think you need a really high-end graphics card, though.
No.
It just might take it longer to render. Go ahead, sorry.
I hate to contradict you, Blue, but I use DaVinci and I currently don't have a graphics card because my old 960 died.
Huh.
So I'm using the Intel graphics that came with the with my i7 6700, which is like a 6 or 7. In fact, the funny thing is, because the video card had issues, it turned out once I removed the video card, DaVinci ran better than when it had the video card in there because it was buggered.
Well, I tried running. That's the reason I've got this computer that I have now. Is when I switched over to DaVinci, the other computer was not capable of running DaVinci, and it was DaVinci was complaining about the lack of the video card. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it depends what processor you. The trouble with PCs is there are so many variables that that what was a high-end processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM might do it, whereas something a bit less might not.
Yeah, that may have been the problem. I just didn't have enough RAM in that machine. But this one runs fine. And it renders pretty quickly. I can render a 30-minute video in about 10 minutes or so.
Real Sickness says integrated Intel is the worst, but it is technically a GPU. Okay, fine.
Yeah, so I don't know what, well, Nathan's constantly begging for something or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I happened to mention to somebody recently that my main camera had developed it developed a fault on the sensor. And they said maybe I should start a GoFundMe to get the money together to buy it. Yeah, just for a second-hand camera to replace it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go out and ask other people to pay for my hobby. You know, if I can't afford it, I'll use what I've got and make the best of it.
Yeah,
like I have been doing for years.
That's what most of us do. But most of us aren't Nathan either.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us have pride.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed the way Wolfie worded it. Basically said it's a grown man having to beg for cheap shit like a graphics card, and then he went on to brag a little bit about how much money. Well, I basically said pilots make lots of money We can afford our own toys. Good for you, Wolfie. Hang in there, brother. And what was his last? Well, he had the speakers, and then he had the soundproofing. I don't know. It seems like there's always something he wants, and somebody else needs to pay for it. Yeah. Whatever. Hey, I rejoined, what do they call it? Earth Awakening Geo's server.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Man, that...
They mute your item?
I don't know what to make out of those guys.
Geo, I asked him point blank once, is there any conspiracy theory that he disagrees with, and he couldn't come up with one. Even the lizard people, he said, is he doesn't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, having a look and seeing who's over in Geo's server, I'm glad I'm talking to you guys in here, because Percentage, Ali B, Geo, Jeremy, Moyok, Rakia.
The Brain Trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Blue Rakia says he's gonna have a tailgate party at something at the university. I put what he's saying in chat. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Yeah. See if you can find it. Hey, what am I?
I just took a screenshot and posted it there in live chat.
You still doing this? You didn't give up on it?
He's talking about tailgating and cooking hot dogs and playing flat earth rap music. I don't know. Just a bunch of old antagonistic shit.
He's still on this. Shit.
Can you believe that?
God, he's like a dumb dog with a bone that just won't give it up.
He says I invited them. I did not invite them. No way, shape, or form did I invite them. I made a sarcastic remark to Mike Jones. That was not an invitation. Let's see what he says. I can't really... It's real small on my screen. Well, hang on, I can...
Yeah.
Well, it's still real small. Let's see if I can open the original. Ah. Uh-huh. Let's see what we can do. Might as well show the folks out in YouTube land what this fuck knuckle is capable of. Let me see if I get the right... get the right screen to come up. That would be that one.
Yeah. Just a quickie. Dora says that Oakley still isn't as bad as the Morgar.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Okay, so Rakia says, definitely going to tailgate. Food and music. Blue invited us to come see his balls, then said we were not welcomed. No, Blue never said never invited you, Rakia. And in fact, no, you're not welcome. So I said, no problem, I'll get a permit. Oh, I see what he's doing. So I said, no problem, I'll get a permit to set up a tailgate tent and have anyone that wants to come eat and listen to music hang out. Definitely would have been fun meeting some of the people we talked to, and weather was perfect. I was going to area anyway, so was perfect. That's two perfects. Then the event got canceled. Blue said because we would have disrupted the event, but also the building was going to be worked on. Mm-hmm. So I see what he's doing now. Left lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving his side of the story, part of which is correct. I did cancel it, and I canceled it because he was threatening to make a mess out of it. I canceled it for that reason, plus what we just did, move the thing. Yeah, so I guess all he was trying to do was justify what he did.
Yeah, he's antagonizing Jarvis.
I think you should invite him and then have all the students there as well and say, guess what, guys? This guy here believes the earth is flat.
Stay in school.
Don't be like this guy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Well, you can buy the experiment for less than $1,000. I mean, it won't be as precise as Blue's machine, but I mean, you can buy it and run it yourself. They do that all the time in undergraduate physics classes.
Yep. Well, the other thing was too that I got a whole bunch of people that watched the video, and only actually had a couple of people that emailed me and said, yeah, I'd like to come see it. So there wasn't a big crowd, planning on coming in the first place. Really not hardly worth all the trouble of, getting UT people to come down there on a Saturday, and spend their time just to see, a couple of people. They've got lives too. They got other things they'd like to do on the weekends. But once we get it back up in operation again after the remodel, and I've been asking people to do this, if you want to see it, send me an email. I'm not going to say when it's going to happen. And I'll get back with you and let you know if we have enough interest in we'll figure out a date and make this thing happen, but it's not going to be where Rakia and that bunch of idiots can try to interfere with it again. Hey, shout out to Sean Smith for $5 US. Invite Rakia. Let me finish this. Invite Rakia in for a one-on-one debate live at the site. Yeah. Okay. Now go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought you should just let Rakia come and get arrested by the campus police.
Oh, they're nice guys. I'm sure they would just simply suggest they find someplace else to go show their ass. They do have football games down there, so that UT police force, which is not a bunch of rent-a-cops as they've been misrepresented by a few people. That's an actual functioning police department. They can arrest people, charge people, incarcerate people. They can do all of those things. And I think there's about 60 officers And they ride herd on all the events that go on down there, like the football games, where there's a hell of a lot of beer drinking and hell raising going on. So they're pretty accustomed to troublemakers. They know how to handle. I wouldn't worry about that all that much. I just don't want it to be a problem. Do anything that would be a problem for the University of Tennessee. That really would not sit well with me at all. Not that I would mind meeting these guys. If they want to come meet me someplace, I'll be glad to go. I've said this before. But if you want to pick a fight with me, we're not gonna go to somebody else's front yard and have it. That ain't gonna work. Personally, I think it's just all talk. But I wasn't really willing to take the chance. Maybe I should restate my position about all of this too. I don't care if you think the earth is flat, if that's what you believe, but you have a genuine interest, a legitimate, genuine interest in seeing Cavendish, send me an email. My email is right there on my channel. Go to that little tab that says About, and you'll find bluemarbleScience@gmail.com. Send me an email. Tell me you want to come see it. I'll put you on the list. I don't have any problem with that. If you just want to come here,
guys. I'm sorry, you have a lag. My problem with these guys is they're just science deniers. I mean, this is a well-established, well-known experiment. You've replicated it, and now they still say it's fake. That gravity doesn't exist.
No, yeah. As I say, if you legitimately want to see it and see what it's all about, I would be more than happy to have anybody. But if you just want to come there and be a pain in the ass, it ain't going to happen.
I do think Jose was onto something though with his requirements.
Yep. Maybe. See Tusk and Biggest Doggist out there. Two left thumbs. Hey, Lefty, what's going on? Devil's Advocates out there. Zen you. Who else am I missing? Haven't been paying that much attention. Oh, Dora. Hello, Dora. Yeah. B. Hunter, what have you been up to? B's away from the mic. Hello, Ace Fox. How are you today? And John, let's see, we need to fix you up. You can't be running around out there without mod status. We don't allow that. That should have you. All right, guys, we need something to talk about. We need a flurf in here.
You know what debate I would really love to see or hear? Professor Dave and Winston. Oh man, that would be an amazing debate.
That'd be a
I don't know.
bloodbath.
After Dearth got his ass handed to him, though, I don't think that any of them will debate Professor Dave ever again.
Yeah, but that was kind of an easy debate.
Dearth didn't know what hit him.
Oh God.
No.
I
think the funniest. I'm gonna post a little short clip of my favorite part of the debate. Give me a second if I can find it.
Yeah, stick it in
Oh, right here. It's about a minute long.
Oh, you're showing it.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wrong.
Wait a minute.
1 second.
Wait a minute. Let me
I got
stop.
it. I got it.
Stop
I
my.
posted it in Daily Boom. There it is.
I'm looking.
I should be posting now. There it is.
Okay. Let's see what
You think that we're
see if I can open the screen up enough. Well, got to get to it where I can. There we go. Maximize it. And then let's see if I can. I don't think that went right. I don't know how to put that over on the other screen. Yeah, let me try something else.
That was a good one.
we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
All right.
That was a good one. That was one of my favorites too.
You guys
Can you
will-
imagine it? Can you imagine if we actually felt the Earth move? I mean, we'd all be like dizzy all the time and all lean to the left as lean east as we walked. Maybe we evolved to not feel that.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to do that leaning over, we'd all end up like the bloody haggises. Left legs shorter than right legs. Of course, for the haggis, it's so they can walk around the mountain evenly.
Well, I'm getting there. Give me a minute.
But remember, you're only allowed to hunt haggis during haggis season.
The other one was the speed change. He's talking, the Earth's orbit is basically circular. The eccentricity is like 0.016 something. I mean, it's basically circular. And the difference in speed is like 60 miles a day.
Oh, excuse me.
The look on his face, I had to zoom in on his face after Dave made that comment. It was priceless. He didn't know what to say after that.
The change in speed is like 60 miles a day. So it's like getting to the top of the on-ramp, slamming the accelerator down, and going from 0 to 60 in a day. Yeah, snap your head back.
Okay, I think I finally got everything connected correctly. Let's try playing this thing. It ought to go out to YouTube, and you guys ought to be able to see it on my live stream in Discord.
You think that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and we don't feel it, and we're changing, we're changing directions. How is that possible? How about when the Earth comes around comes around towards the sun in the winter, in our northern winter, it's speeding up and taking its sharpest turn, and then we don't feel any of those forces?
Its sharpest turn. Okay, so this one's really hilarious to me. So the sun goes around the Earth, or sorry, the Earth goes around the sun in how long? How long does it take?
A year.
A year, right? So why don't you go ahead and get in a car and do a 360 turn and make it take a year? Are you going to feel that?
Dave, that's not a
Let's
fair...
break it down. 360 degrees, 365 days. That's about a degree a year, right? Why don't you get in a car and drive for 24 hours and over 24 hours veer by 1 degree? Are you going to feel that?
That would be equivalent to this. People say, well, I'm just trying to think of the easiest way.
I'm just trying to think of something to say
Hey,
that
Dave,
will make
stop,
sense.
Stop being a dick.
Hilarious.
Stop being a dick. Yeah, right. Dearth.
I mean, it makes sense. Like you wouldn't, and they continue going on with this. Oh, why don't we feel the Earth spinning? I mean, why would you expect to feel it?
That's
you don't
right.
even, when you're on a cruise ship, you can't feel the ship bouncing up and down. I mean, maybe if it's a really small ship, but on a giant cruise ship, you're not going to feel any of that.
Oh, of course not. When you don't see or don't feel exactly what you shouldn't see or shouldn't feel, to them that's evidence of something or the other. I didn't see it, and I shouldn't have, and I didn't feel it, and I shouldn't have, so it must not exist. What? You don't have a machine in your airplane to measure Coriolis? No, I don't. Why would I?
I'm more interested in that 15-knot crosswind on final.
Yeah, that's a lot more important to me.
I don't know. I think it's right up there with the chemtrails on-off switch.
Just spritz them with a vinegar bottle.
The Coriolis gauge.
Yeah, which one of them was it that wanted that? Oh, that's Gary. That's why Bingo. Yeah, he's all upset.
Gary seems to be front runner for top left 2023.
I think so. Yeah, Gary stays all
I
upset.
tried to get him there this year.
Because
I tried getting him there this year. Obviously, it wasn't happening. Go ahead, Blue. Sorry.
Yeah, Gary stays all upset because we don't have an instrument in the airplane labeled Coriolis. Huh. I have no idea what I would do with one of those.
What I thought was funny earlier. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Below, your instructor would slap a rubber disc on it and not let you.
Sorry, Gigi, I missed it. So do it again.
I said your instructor would slap a rubber disc on it.
Oh, yeah, I was the instructor. I would definitely have slapped a rubber disc on it. Most assuredly. Take that thing out of the picture.
What I thought was funny earlier is I was over in Geo's and Rakia and Brian Leakey were talking about the lights, and Brian was specifically talking about how there's a switch for Earth curvature, and he's like, of course he was acknowledging that it was there, but I'm like, if there's no curvature, why does the device have this switch? Why would it be there if they didn't have to account for curvature?
It's to trick you, B-Ball. It's to make you think there's curvature.
Yeah, you were there, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear that conversation?
Yeah. Yeah, Brian come in laughing at Doofus or trying to say he's something wrong, and I was like, no, he didn't say anything wrong. Doofus was talking about like if you set up on a target, if you move back away from that target and reset, that you'll have to look down at that previous point, and the further you move away from the target, the more down you have to look at it. Basically, what he was saying, and they were ridiculing him, saying, talking about how that wouldn't happen and how he didn't know what he was talking about.
What I think is funny though is that you have people that, like Brian claims that he used these tools for so long, he's done this for so long, but he denies an entire part of surveying. Right? Oh, I've done this. You can't tell me this and this and that. But when you have someone else coming in who hasn't done it, telling you, hey man, this part of surveying, you're incorrect. That should tell you something.
Yeah, he thinks shooting grade on a foundation can be extended to the earth.
Well, he confuses that with surveying. That's not surveying.
Yeah.
What Brian Leakey and Rocky do is not surveying. They are not surveyors. They don't do surveying. At best, they take an auto level and shoot elevations. That's all.
Oh, my personal favorite was when they took a water level and proved that water was level using a water level.
Yeah, that's a brilliant piece of work, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would agree that water levels would show that water is level.
Most of the time, I would tend to agree with you.
Well, let's ignore the surface and just focus on the water level.
Right, and ignore the fact that the company that makes the water level talks about making curvature corrections.
Yeah, and the fact that Bev absolutely refuses to do the observation that would be decisive on the shape, he refuses to do. That tells me that Bev in no way believes in flat Earth or planar Earth. He knows he's on a globe. He's just playing a game.
Which one's this?
Bev.
I know, but which one? Which does he want to do?
Oh, he doesn't want to sight like having the three positions on the water level and sight the first to the last and recognize that the middle's high.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, because he knows it's going to do exactly what Lake Pontchartrain does.
Yeah.
Two drops don't equal a bulge, right? Or hump. How's it worded? How's Yogi say that?
Oh, I don't know. No, that's the reason. That's the only reason that Bev refuses. He knows what the outcome would be if he actually ran that test. And he's not about to do it.
Does he even really talk about surveying anymore?
Huh?
Or does he just kind of talks about logic and all that, kind of just rambles on talking about logic and stuff like that.
That's mostly what they do when I listen to them. They're always just babbling on and on and on about it, about logic or about Euclidean geometry. I got news for them. You're not going to prove, or you're not going to measure or show the shape of the Earth, no matter what it is, using logic or Euclidean geometry. You're going to have to get your ass out there and do a test.
Yeah.
It can't happen just by waving your arms around a bit and proclaiming level is horizontal. No, that's a false statement to begin with. And he bases what he calls his proof on that assumption, which is wrong.
But they say they can prove it, though. He said he has proof that level is horizontal. That's
Yeah,
what
but
he claims.
yeah, by stringing multiple water levels in series and matching the water levels up, but never looking from one end to the other ever, and claiming that those are shared straight line segments when he overlaps two water levels.
And they're parallel.
Right. I've listened to that that thing that I posted on my channel several times with Brandon, where Brandon was asking him, "How does your test prove the shape of the Earth?"
Yeah.
I've listened to it so many times just because I get where Brandon was coming from. He was so frustrated. Like, look, I mean, we're trying to, prove one model or the other, and it seems like you guys are not trying to do that. You're just trying to, who knows what were they trying to do? Just, how does your test prove one shape or the other? And Bev pretty much wouldn't answer it.
Yeah.
And then you have some other flat earthers would come in and try and explain it to him, and but he never got an answer, and you could hear the frustration in Brandon's voice at the end.
Well, Brandon.
Well,
I don't get along.
I saw Brandon coming. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I don't agree with Brandon most of the time, but that particular instance, Brandon was spot on. Everything he said he was asking exactly the right questions. And Bev, as you say, refused to answer him. Go ahead, Leslie.
Yeah, I saw Brandon's frustration level rising. He was getting angry over silly things and kind of getting out of character with his anger. And I felt like that he was coming to some realization, and then he disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that conversation I think that was a few months before he actually left. But yeah, I think something clicked in Brennan's brain. Unless, we could be wrong. It could have been something personal in his life that happened, maybe. But we don't know. We'll never know. But I did see that, when you can tell when someone's online in Discord, Brandon's little green light was on. So he was online, but I sent him a DM, but he didn't respond, of course. So maybe he's just lurking in the background, waiting for the right time to come back.
I think
or maybe he'll never come back. We'll see.
Yeah, I think at the end of that stream, Brandon had his fill of Bev. That's what I would say. Because he was very, very frustrated the longer that went on with Bev being totally unwilling to even try to answer the question he was putting to him. Which is really simple. How the hell are you going to prove that the middle is not in line with the two ends?
Well, Brandon was calling him to task, and he was, if he was genuinely believed in what he said he believes in, but in question and seeking the truth, Brandon was seeking at that moment, and I think it exemplifies anyone, even on the flat earth side, that is truly in question and seeking the truth. These people that profess, definitive, like the sextant only works on a flat earth. If I were a flat earther, I would be going to 10th man Nathan Oakley QE and demanding a demonstration. If what they say is true, they should be able to show me how it works on a flat earth. and they refuse to do that. And that should raise question into anyone's mind if they really want to know the truth.
Yep.
Yep, and I think that's the difference between some flat earthers and others. That some are actively looking for the truth, and others are just they don't care about the truth.
Hey, Blue. Hey, Globe skeptics.
Hey, Olim.
Hey, what's going on?
I just heard some healthy skepticism of healthy skepticism of Nathan. Right? You take his word for it. Oh, have you done it yourself? No, Nathan Oakley did it for me. Because
Yeah. I got a life-size picture of Nathan Oakley ever doing anything other than running his mouth.
And I think you have a Bev Tardian in your chat. Somebody saying something like, how's the curvy straight lines going? Like you double speakers and your curvy straight lines.
Yeah.
Don't you know that great circles don't exist?
Who's doing that?
It's in the YouTube chat or
Somebody gadget inspector. He's got his
Oh yeah.
his
oh
first
yeah,
name.
he's a Bevian. He's a Bevian.
Smells like Bevlandia.
Yeah, straight lines, therefore Earth flat.
Professor Phil, Professor Phil Bell's in the chat.
Yeah, I see him. Hello, Phil. How you doing?
Oh, there's a smart guy.
You can join the Discord if you want to, Phil. Let me put the link back out there again. There you go. In case you don't already have it, I think you do. I think you're in there.
That should cancel out any Bev Tards in the room.
Yeah, I just mentioned Professor Valdia yesterday. I had one of my clients is this really smart Korean guy that does programming, and he's created an algorithm to evaluate for aeronautics efficiency. Like, okay, we'll have to talk next time about that.
Yeah, it's really funny that great circle routes don't exist where, airplanes fly them every damn day of the year. Someone was on, what's that site with all the airplanes, and if you look over the North Atlantic, the airplanes are following pretty damn close to a great circle route between New York and London.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that was yesterday on Jose's.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it may deviate north or south slightly on any given day.
Right.
Just because they're trying to take advantage of or avoid the jet stream.
Right.
So it wanders around a little bit.
Have they ever peeled an orange?
Yeah, really.
Well, you do that. Peel an orange without a curve.
Without making a curve line. You can't do it, can you? Yeah. The only other time aircraft will deviate would be for restricted airspace. There are parts of the world you just don't fly over.
Like the Soviet Union and
yeah, that was in Russia today. There's a couple flights from like London to I think Japan.
Yeah.
And they've like doubled the length of the flight now because they have to fly up over the North Pole and down over Alaska rather than just cut across Russia.
Yeah, and Anchorage International Airport has now become basically the biggest airport in the world for freight. It's been in the top 3 for years, but now they're getting smashed.
You must really stuck to work at that airport.
Now it isn't too bad. A few months ago, it was not good. But, even in May through like September, it's not all that horrible.
So it seems there's another QFA 64 in mid-flight as we speak.
Another one up?
Yep.
Amazing how they fly that like once a day.
What
several times a week.
Yeah.
What site's it on, B-Ball?
So if you pull up, I think it's Flight Tracker 24, I believe.
Let me look for it.
There's
Flight radar.
Flight Radar 24.
Flight, yeah, Flight Radar. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just about halfway.
Ooh, flipping heck, there's actually a...
Ah, here we go.
This way to Sydney.
Let's see if I can share the screen in Discord, and we'll stick it out. Maybe. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Put it out on YouTube. Yeah, I see a whole bunch of airplanes flying around here over the North Atlantic. But I see one right here around New Zealand.
Now the question is, how far would that distance be on flat Earth?
Well, you can actually measure it in miles or kilometers, and there's some kind of a ratio depending on, like if you're using an AE map, the regular Gleason, it's going to it's going to end up being what, close to 3 times longer than it should be, at least double the duration.
Much.
I mean, that jet is going to suddenly have to be hauling butt to go that, to make the time, to make the distance rather.
Well, there are magic ones that blow both ways.
Are you're showing it in Discord, right, Blue? Can you zoom in on that flight?
Which one is it? This one?
QFA 64.
Oh, I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see him either.
Hold on one second.
Is he right in the middle of the ocean?
It's between from Johannesburg to Sydney. That's weird.
No.
Oh, I see. Where'd he go?
The guy I see is a guy over flying to Christchurch. Singapore to Christchurch. He's landing.
No, I don't see an airplane in that area.
See, let me screenshot my. I'm using a different. I'm using Flight Tracker on my phone. Or is it Flight Aware? I think. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm using Flight Aware. So let me post a screenshot in Discord of my screen.
Yeah, I got it. I got him down there. Johannesburg to Sydney. QF-64.
That's the it just goes back and forth, right? There's a QF-63 that goes the other way.
Yep.
There he is.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
So are you saying it's not showing on Flight Aware, Flight Tracker?
It's not showing on Flight Radar 24 is what I've got up.
Oh, flight radar.
Well, I had to like, I caught it right on the edge of my screen, and I scooted it back over, and it popped back up. But looking right at the Indian Ocean, it disappeared. But I've got it on here.
He is all alone in that ocean.
It's kind of jinky.
The only thing, like you looked last time, there's like a couple little bits of land, like John Farallon, and you wouldn't want to go there. First of all, there's nothing there.
What's the other software?
I'm sorry.
What was the other software you were talking about?
It's a mobile app. It's called. I mean, you can probably pull it up on your PC too. It's called Flight Aware. Flight Aware.
Yeah, there's a PC version of that too.
Yeah, let's see. I got to do a bunch of sign-ups and stuff. I don't know if I want to spend the time messing with that.
No, it's fine.
It looks like there's a big arc in the air from like Paris to Houston. Huh.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Oh, Flight Radar 24.
Yeah, Flight Radar 24 is what I'm on.
It's I just put Flight Radar in there.
There's an Aeroflot guy. He's flying from Moscow to Vladivostok.
Yeah, it's so if you zoom in, Blue,
Yeah.
it's there. It's just that the plane itself is blue, so you probably can't see it on your screen. On Flight Radar 24.
It was.
You have to zoom in.
I had to jiggle around to get it. It would show up and disappear.
Where is it right now?
So it is pretty close to Antarctica right now.
In the middle of the Indian Ocean.
In the middle of the ocean, in between.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
between Australia.
There it
and,
is. Yeah, got it.
In the middle of no effing where.
We got it.
Yeah.
There he is.
He's out of range of GPS, so I don't know what he's doing about navigating.
What the hell is he doing way down there? Jesus.
He's flying from.
He's supposed to be going to Australia.
Right.
That doesn't look like no straight line to me.
Nope.
I posted it yesterday. Do I need to post it again? I can post a straight line.
There's his.
So the estimated time is 12 hours and 50. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's the 11 hour, between 11 and 12 hours, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call that the flurf foiling flight.
It's going currently 506 knots.
Yeah, that's why he's got an estimated arrival time a little sooner than scheduled. By about 35 minutes. He's found some wind.
I just turn that projection, or if you have the ability to imagine with your mind's eye, that projection as a sphere back into a sphere, that line's pretty straight.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's your curvy straight line that exists.
They don't have anything to avoid down there. So the only reason they're going to deviate from a great circle route is going to be on account of winds.
Here it is. I did it yesterday.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, blue to, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks. I'm not sure what you guys are looking at, but Yeah, I did it too on Google Earth yesterday.
Yep.
Let's see.
And on flat Earth, it will look like this.
Yeah, flat Earth, you got to go up over Europe, don't you? Asia, yeah.
There you go.
That'd be a pretty long flight.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. It would be much more logical to have, a layover in Dubai.
Well, this is why they say that in order to do these flights, you have to come north because, especially back during the pandemic when they were canceling some of these flights, they were leaving the ones from like, Sydney, Los Angeles, and Los Angeles, Johannesburg or something.
Yeah, that's going to be less and less of an excuse.
Yeah.
Because it's virtually over.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully. Won't go into that one today. Not Blues Channel. But, the one that really got them was that Qantas flight that went from, South America to Darwin. Oh, and they were basically over Antarctica.
Yeah, that was just one-off
Right.
flight, though.
And that was their excuse. Oh, it's just a one-off flight. We can't schedule that. Oh, so what? It happened. It was real.
Yeah.
We call it a black swan flight.
But this one happens all the time. Like every other day.
Yeah, it appears to. Probably the same equipment. It flies one way one day and the other way the next day.
Yeah, yep. I would not want to be on that airplane if they lose an engine.
That's a 787, right?
Yeah.
So remember those times when flat earthers claim that these flights didn't exist?
Oh yeah.
You don't hear that too much anymore.
No, they were saying that during the height of the pandemic when they canceled all these flights. They still aren't, the ones from Australia to South America still really haven't picked up yet. They still fly to Los Angeles and down, or Dallas and down.
They were saying that long before the pandemic also.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were stupid.
Yeah, well.
And they also say that Cavendish has never reproduced. So.
Right. Yeah, we know someone who did that.
Yeah, I know a guy
Speak of the devil.
I know a guy that did that.
That's why it's always good to bring these, like to start to talk about these flights, or this flight in particular, because they all go quiet and they don't want to talk about it.
Well, whether these guys like it or not, airlines are a for-profit business, and they're going to do what makes money.
Yep.
If they can justify direct flights, they do them. If there's not enough traffic between two destinations, they'll route your ass through Timbuktu if they need to.
Well, they're talking about I think it's Qantas wants to fly Sydney to London nonstop.
Yeah, that's like 22 hours, I think.
Something like that. Something ridiculous.
Right at the absolute limit of the airplane.
So
that's a lot of compressed air.
You betcha.
Well, they already fly basically Newark to Singapore, which is basically antipodal, or pretty damn close. I don't even know which direction they fly that flight. It could fly either one, depending on the winds, I guess.
West to east would be my choice.
Right. That means you could fly there one way and fly all the way around the world because you fly westbound each time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that one.
I did that one time.
With this ETOPS plus 330 stuff, that's 5.5 hours on one engine. I think I'm gonna splash one day. We'll see.
Well, those engines, nowadays are so damn reliable.
Yep.
And the probability of a next failure is
and they change
virtually
and they
zero.
Change them. And after X amount of hours, they change the engine, whether it's failing or not, because it's coming up on time.
Yeah, in reliability analysis parlance, that's called MTTR.
What does that stand for?
Mean time to replace.
Right, mean time to replace. Right, MTTF and mean time to failure.
Right. Well, they've always done that with aircraft stuff. That's where reliability analysis really came into its own.
When they changed the engines on the KC-135, which is basically a Boeing 707, someone put out, well, now it can't carry its own engines, because those engines are much bigger. And then one of the smart guys came back and said, well, will you expect to carry an engine with its propellers attached? You have to take the propellers off the story. And that pretty much calmed that one down right away.
Yeah, it's quite a process to go through a full reliability analysis of a piece of electronics, for instance.
These things are, these things are complex.
There's a mil spec called HDBK 217C that defines exactly how you go about doing that, and it is laborious.
Well, guys, I gotta go off and cook dinner. I'm gonna put you guys on hold.
Well, all right, Shills. Go cook dinner. You're welcome to come back. We may be here, and you never know. Maybe not. Hey, Moryak.
How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. I was over at Geo's, and they were talking about open versus closed again. And so I raised this idea of a pickle jar. And they want to call a pickle jar open because over a period of 100 years, it might lose some of its liquid or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, what you've just done there is you've pedantically picked apart the idea of open versus closed and made it useless. By that definition, I think almost everything would be considered open.
Yeah,
it's really very context specific.
Well, yeah, this was a favorite argument of SE Montreal back 6 months or a year ago, the open versus closed thing, as far as Earth's atmosphere. And I would shut him down every time by simply saying, are your car tires an open system or a closed system?
Yeah, and technically, I think that, is it technically correct to say that they are an open system?
I don't think so.
They have.
So it is context sensitive. It's application specific.
Yeah.
They have bottles of wine that last hundreds of years. It was about 10, 15 years ago, they discovered a stock, a private reserve, Napoleon's private reserve of Madeira wine. It's going for like $6,000 a bottle, and it's still good. It's from it's well over 100 years old.
Yeah, but did it not lose one molecule of water? Did nothing come through that cork at all?
Hydrogen will escape through a glass container.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know over a 1,000,000-year time scale whether water can get out of a glass container. I mean,
Yeah, to answer Hads in the chat, ETOPS is extended range twin engine operational performance standards. Basically tells you how long you're allowed to fly on a twin engine aircraft with one engine out. That's all it means.
I would say at least until you get to the airport, right?
Or the scene of the crash, yeah, whichever occurs first. Yeah, they got, I don't know how they come up with a number, but they come up with a number. Which is what is a real problem for flying over places like Antarctica. You basically, I don't think, can do that flight without a 4-engine aircraft. But these 787s are, what was it? Schill said 5.5 hours. Sounds about right. So that's almost halfway through, or probably is about halfway through this flight that we're looking at, this QFA 64. It's somewhere around 11 hours. So no matter where the engine fails, you'll be able to get back to in 5.5 hours, you ought to be able to make a runway somewhere. I'm sure you can in this particular case, just simply because he's going all the way to Sydney. If he loses the engine, he's got Perth to fall back on. And that's the whole continent of Australia. So yeah, that's what that's all about. Saw Feral Cat up in the chat. Hello, Feral Cat. Yeah, you got 63 people watching. Great. Thanks, everybody. So what else are the numpties doing today?
I don't know. I got sick of it over there because Brummy was talking, so it's like, okay, this is just useless. That scattergun running all over the place, constant talking, just like, oh God.
I know.
Brummy's over in Geos now?
He was when I was there.
Oh. So he's migrated from gems to Geos. That's nice.
Oh, I gotta go. Work calling.
Wait, who are you talking about?
It's a guy named Brummy. I'm not sure if it's this, if I'm getting him confused, but from what I think, Brummy, he's a guy that used to be a Glober, like he used to argue for the globe, like pretty hard, and then he became a flat earther. Lord knows how that worked.
No way.
Yeah,
That
that's
doesn't-
what I've heard.
Wow. Not cool origin story, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it's as I don't think it's as bad as Bandsaw though.
Okay, we'll hide the bot. Don't time that thing out. It's hidden. Leave it alone. I don't know where that thing comes from. I saw it jumping all over Bev's channel the other day, too. Same bot. I need to report that somehow or the other to YouTube and see if they can do something about stopping it. It has managed to find every stream in the last 3 or 4 streams I've done. Irritating.
Sorry,
piece of crap.
I just joined. What the fuck are you like drawing that line to? What's that spot in the middle of the ocean?
Oh, this little airplane down here. This one.
Oh shit, hang on. Oh shit, no, yeah, like hang on, I can't see it. Yeah, that right in the middle of the ocean. What's that?
That is a flight from that's currently flying from Johannesburg to Sydney, Australia.
Okay, yeah. Did you just know as well that because I'm from Australia, and the biggest airplane in Australia, like the company is Qantas.
Yep.
And they just made flights from London to Sydney and from Sydney to New York, and they are the longest flights ever in history.
Yeah, I believe they do.
The longest flight ever before that was Sydney to Johannesburg, and then Sydney to Los Angeles. And now we're completely going all the way to the other end of America, going straight from Sydney all the way to New York. And that's the longest ever flight ever. And Sydney to London, I think, is just shorter. But it's still very, very fucking long.
Yeah, those are 20+ hour flights. 20.
No, they're over 48 hours.
No airplane flies 48.
No, the Sydney to Los Angeles is like a 48-hour flight.
No, it's not.
Well, going through time zones, it technically is like different, but like
I'm talking
flying times.
Yeah, I'm talking about actual flying time.
It's way over a day of flying. Yeah. It's over 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm talking about actual time in the air.
Yeah,
but the actual
it's over 24 hours. The newest ones, the one from Sydney to London and then Sydney to New York, they're well, it's over 24 hours. They're over 26 or so hours. Those flights, maybe 28. I don't know. I know they're definitely over 26.
Yeah, it's a long flight, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Longest flight I've ever...
Yeah, it's a very long time to be in the air.
The longest flight I've ever been on was LAX to Hong Kong, and that's about 15 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's all across the Pacific.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like every time if in Australia, if you want to go anywhere, like if you want to go to America, it's across the Pacific, and if you want to go towards Europe, it's across the Atlantic type thing. Like Australia is just really down on the planet, and to go anywhere from here or to get to here is a long fucking way. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you guys picked a hell of a place.
We keep people away because we make up stories about every animal in Australia can kill you, so nobody will want to come here. But yeah, nothing can actually kill
The
you in
drop bear
Australia.
is real, right?
No, that's the thing. Like there is technically some bad things in Australia, but we just made everything else up. We just over exaggerated animals in Australia, and everyone thinks that just everything in Australia kills you, and it just 100% doesn't. Like, you're never going to get killed by an animal.
I don't know. Those damn big red kangaroos look like they pack a punch.
Yeah, no, they're really, really big, though. Yeah.
Don't lie.
And
You're
you
just
got
trying to
snakes.
sucker more people to come in and be killed.
No,
Yeah, and
that's
more
the thing.
tourists to get eaten by
I
snakes
just
and sharks.
no, that's the thing. I just had to talk to another American about this. There are different types of snakes, and certain snakes will strike at things, and other snakes don't. The snakes we have in Australia aren't striking snakes. They're literally blind, and not only like blind, like they can see heat and shit like that. Like, they're dumb as fucking shit, and they're really, really venomous. Yes, but they won't kill you. The only way a snake in Australia will bite you is you accidentally step on that snake. And yes, then it will bite you and you will 100% die. But unless that happens, then you're not getting killed by a snake in Australia. It's never
So that
gonna happen.
lessens that 100%. 100% chance of dying. That we're about too late at that point.
One of the things is we're like we're a continent, but we're also an island. The one thing that we've learnt on this island continent is stay the fuck away from water. Everything
Well,
in
you
the
have
water
the most dangerous
will
jellyfish.
everything in the water will 100% kill you. No,
Those
like
microscopic jellyfish that attack by like there's millions. No,
not just in the water, but if you literally walk around the water on rocks, there is a certain species that, like, nearly everything in Australia in the water can 100% camouflage, and there's this one thing that looks 100% like a rock, and if you step on it, you die. That's it. You just instantly paralyze and fall over, and you're fucking dead. There is no way to get you back. You're fucking dead. One step on that thing, and you're fucking dead. It's called a stonefish. And yeah, it fucking sucks. We've also got an octopus. It's called a blue-ringed octopus because it can make extremely bright blue rings around itself, like on all of its tentacles and on all of its body. It can magically make itself look really, really pretty. But obviously, because it's an octopus, it's 100% invisible normally, and this octopus is the size of a US quarter, and it's the most deadly animal in pretty much the most deadly animal in Australia. If you ever come in contact with that thing, you're 100% dead. And it is so small, and it's literally invisible. That's the point of most things in the ocean in Australia. They're 100% invisible, and they're so small. And if your toe touches that thing, you are dead. You just fall over and you're fucking dead. It's stupid. And like most things on land, anything on land I'm not worried about. On land in Australia, like, I'm 100% certain nothing can kill me on land in Australia, but if I go anywhere near the water, I'm probably going to die.
Funnel web spider.
What's the percent chance of running
Um,
across one of
that's
those
that's
blue
the
king
thing.
octopus?
That's the thing. Like he just said, the funnel web spider. The funnel web spider is the most venomous spider in Australia, but it only exists in one place. And do you know where I live? The exact place where funnel web spiders exist. And we just had a massive influx of them because we just had floods in Australia, and so funnel webs started going into people's houses, and one got into somebody's garage and it bit them and they died. So we just had a funnel web death.
And what about the killer koalas?
That's the last time. Like seriously, I haven't heard of a funnel web death in 20 years before this just happened. And koalas are the dumbest fucking animals on earth. They are so stupid that we had to literally save them from killing themselves. They're retarded.
30
Like,
to
I'm
40
sorry to say
people
that
a
word.
year killed by funnel web spiders.
Kind of, yeah. Like we just had like a massive report of them because there was a huge influx because of the floods and shit. But
What about drop bears?
we literally made that animal up as a joke.
No,
for
it's like a jackalope. It's absolutely real.
or a snipe. Or a llama.
Like, I like the fact that we actually did convince Americans that there was that animal.
Well, even the platypus though have the males have toxic spurs, right? They'll mess up your day.
Yep.
Yeah, you're the only damn country with killer ducks.
Listen to this. Do you know, like, what the species of platypus is?
It's called a monotreme.
Mm-hmm. And there are only 3 monotremes that exist on the planet. And do you know specifically what makes a monotreme different than a mammal?
It's weird.
They're oviparous.
What do mammals do? Like specifically,
they give milk, they lactate, and they give live birth.
Yes, they give live birth and they lactate. They have nipples. They give milk to the young that they give live birth to. So the difference between a monotreme and a mammal is that a monotreme they lay eggs. The eggs hatch and they have nipples, but they also have pouches. So they're really different. Like, we have marsupials in Australia, and marsupials are mammals that have a pouch, and inside the pouch has nipples, and then when they give live birth to the young go inside the pouch, and they feed on the milk from the nipples in the pouch. And monotremes lay eggs, and then when the eggs hatch, the young go inside the pouch and feed on milk from the nipples. So it just completely breaks what we really know as what, like, mammals and other things are. They shouldn't exist, but they do. 'Cause
Right.
We can fucking
It's one of
them.
these
And
one of
it's
these
like-
throwback
and,
things like a lungfish.
There is actually another monotreme, but I don't know it. I think it's I don't know, somewhere else. It might be in South Africa or somewhere like that.
And an echidna.
No, there are echidnas, platypus, and something else. Echidnas are monotremes as well, yeah.
Now they
I
have
think
this
the
thing.
lung-
The Australians are always trying to belittle their deadly animals, so they bring in things like cows.
Yeah,
and stuff.
no,
You know what? I got to say, a cow has never snuck up on me and killed me. Snake, you go and step in the
Do you know what
wrong
the
bush
most?
and you get it.
This is the thing. Like, do you know what the most dangerous animal on Earth is?
A mosquito.
Mm-mm.
Killed more
No.
than any other.
No, like a mammal. Like
Yes, it's a deer.
a big
humans.
mammal. Like, no. Think of the most dangerous animal you can ever think of.
Grizzly bear.
The most dangerous is the polar bear. Actually, as
No,
opposed to
no,
they
nope.
actually like the taste of human flesh.
Nope. No.
It's like grizzlies
This
are
thing
opportunistic,
you
but polar bears
won't,
will.
you probably won't think of it, but it's the
What do you mean by deadliest? By like number of deaths,
What?
or like
no,
really
yes,
nasty?
by number of by number of deaths. It's actually technically a herbivore, but it kills more humans than any
Oh,
animal.
the hippopotamus.
A hippopotamus, yes, exactly.
Well, the hippopotamus is in Africa.
Yeah, they're the most dangerous animal on Earth. They're so fucked up. It's not ridiculous.
In Europe, it's the wild boar, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, no, it's probably the same as in Australia. Boar are probably the most dangerous animal in Australia.
Mean little bastards.
Oh, boar. Like, I used to go hunting, right? And like in Australia, we've got a lot of pests, and most of them are rabbits. Like, if you didn't know, there is over 220 million rabbits in Australia, and there is only like 20 million humans in Australia. So rabbits outnumber humans like 100 to 1. It's ridiculous. But I used to go hunting on my friends' properties and stuff. We used to shoot rabbits and kangaroos and stuff like that. But I've been asked to go with my friend boar hunting, and he has a property and they have big boar, and he only goes out with his dog and a knife, and he's a real hardcore motherfucker. Like, his dog will just grab a boar and like rip it down, and he just slits his throat. And like, I've held guns and stuff before, and he's told me like, you can have any gun you want, and I'm seriously not hard enough to like have a really big gun against a boar like that, with that type of shit happening. Boars are like well over 3 to 4 times my body weight, and I'm fucking scared of that. Like, if I can't shoot, I'm 100% dead. Like, if I'm shooting rabbits or kangaroos, I can shoot them all day. I can't shoot. If I have one shot at a boar, I only have one shot. It's kind of scary.
Now me, I just punch the damn thing and kill it.
Wild boar is delicious too. I've had it here in Spain.
Oh
great
yeah,
steak.
no,
Lovely.
like I went to my mate's farm, and he went and killed a boar and brought it back, and barbecued it for us all, and it was fucking delicious. But I'm I'm probably not man enough to be able to go out and hunt a boar. I want to die, but I don't want to die that bad. I don't want to get killed by a fucking pig.
No, that's not the way I want to go either. For sure.
See, kangaroos are way, way, way bigger than me, but I know I can take on a kangaroo. A boar is like way over 4 times my size, and a boar can fuck me up. A kangaroo can punch me and knock me down, but I can still shoot it.
I don't know, I've shot a lot of boar. Seems to work just fine.
Yeah, they're a little stubborn, but you can kill them.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, I've seen them take a shot pretty well. I've had a buddy of mine who shot one 4 times with a 44 before he finally went down. But he hit them just right. They go down.
Yeah.
Tannerite, you can tenderize them at the same time.
Hang on. Do you want to see a picture of me? Yeah. I just posted it in live chat. Yeah, that's what I look like. I'm not ripped. Look how jacked my arms are. Look how chillin'. Yeah, kangaroos in Australia are fucking jacked as shit. People freak out when they see them. They're like, holy shit, they look like they've been lifting weights for like fucking 15 years. It's funny as shit. But yeah, they're scary.
You do sound a little bit like that. It's exactly how I pictured you.
Yeah, we got a bunch of famous kangaroos that are just massively jacked. But they're literally just wild kangaroos. We just take pictures of them. And obviously, yeah, that guy poses like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well, shout out to Super Hornet out in the chat. Haven't seen you in here before. Welcome. He says, I came across a whole group of boar while running on a trail just outside Brisbane.
Yeah, my mate's more up there towards Brisbane. Only been up to Queensland a couple of times.
Well,
My family used to have property in Queensland, but the furthest I've been is up in Bundaberg. Yeah, Bundaberg.
For the
Well, guys.
Okay.
I think we're 2.5 hours into it, and I think we might just say goodnight to the YouTube chat and all the folks out there listening in. And maybe we'll just do this again like Thursday night, something like that. What'd you say, Abby?
We did cut it. We cut it by hand or sent it somewhere else.
Can't recall on scripts.
Oh, Abby's hot micing. So anyway,
Blue, it was nice to have in a little room over here for us. Thank you for letting us play.
Yeah, you guys can hang around in here and play all you want to. But I think I'm going to shut it down at this point and call it a night.
Oh,
We'll do it
sorry.
again another day. How's that? Hey,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for showing up. Still got 44 people watching. So at this point, have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next one.